They also provide takeaway service that charge extra 20 cents for each product. And the Gula Melaka is the main reason that creates the figures of sweetness in the bowl of ice. Also provide extra green jellies for customer upon their request without applying extra charge. Due to the affordable price and also the unique taste of the products, those are the factors that attract the crowd. So I pass to Wijen.
Okay, for the next Cendol Pulut in Klang, the second competitors. Okay, the first one, the food, it is the main part. It is the red bean part because the red bean is more likely to be delicious compared to the Bandar Bukit Tinggi Cendol. And then for the pricing, it is expensive a little bit than the Bandar Bukit Tinggi Cendol. It is 2 per bowl, 2 ringgit per bowl, and then 2.50 if you take away. And then it is reasonable because it is in a bigger size if compared to the Bandar Bukit Tinggi Cendol. So for the third one location, it is in a strategic location which is beside the next to the market at the Bukit Tinggi, which all the businessmen work at there, the office. So after lunch, then they can have a cendol at there. So for the overall, the online review, they got 7.4 over 10, the marks. So it's good. And then for the service, the employees also more than the Bandar Bukit Tinggi Cendol, which is so that they can work more efficiently. So next.
Alright, let's move to the Penang root famous cendol. So for the good quality of his peanut red beans is very tasty, better than the Teochew cendol. So for compared to the Teochew cendol, the winner's way is only the red bean, the peanut red beans. So for the pricing is low. It starts from 1 ringgit and 17 cents to the 2 ringgit and 30 cents. So compared to the Teochew cendol, is almost only 20 cents between both of them. But let's say if one day they sold 1,000 of the cendol, you might get the differences. So for the locations, it's very good. Yeah, it's just opposite to the Teochew cendol. For that place, which is the Lebrook Grand Kra, is a crowded place. So when people when they after their walks, they will go to the street and they are having Teochew cendol. Yep. So then I will pass it to Wei Zhen.
Alright, what are the competitors' strategy? Well, first of all, they got strategic location. They are located at the heart of a commercial area, which is easier to be noticed and remembered by all. He did not relocate for almost 5 years, and all of his loyal customers know where to find him if they wanted to get a taste of his delicious bowl of cendol. And for the quality, he kept the price and the range of the he kept the price range at a low rate to attract more customers. While other stores may increase their price for the same product, he kept the price low and only increased by 10 cents every 2 years. It's a great way to help stabilize his business.
Hi, I'm Yulian. Competitors, the strategies that Teochew cendol used is that Mr. Tang, he found that the first place in the area that nearby doesn't serve food similar to his. For example, in the year of 1936, there was no other stores or restaurants that served the cendol within the area. So that gives a big benefits for him to start the cendol business. In the beginning of his business, he worked really hard to create his own recipe and to and the quality of his product. The purpose is to create the signature taste and the quality for his chendol to attract more customers.
Alright, for the pricing, its price is not affected by GST. Even though the government taxed us for every goods, the owner was generous enough to not include the tax into the price of the same amount of chendol served. It seems really fair and thoughtful to the rest of his loyal customers. Okay, for advertisement. The local customers are the key of advertisement, spreading the words from one to another like wildfire. Imagine one of his customers had one of his delicious bowl of chendol, and he had to tell his friends and family about his experience about this wonderful taste. Alright, and of course, they have to try and find out if it is true. And if it was really that good, then no doubt his numbers of customers would rapidly increase if he kept the quality and standard of his chendol at a first rate.
For Teochew Chendol, his business delivers a service that nearby competitors cannot compete with, such as providing a better service, a faster service, and offering lower prices, but not to compromising with their quality of the product. He then provides more variety of food such as ABC, rojak, asam laksa instead of chendol only. He will also spend time with the customers to receive more feedbacks such as positive and negative to reflect on. He will also train his employees to be more friendly to his customers so that they will visit again. Ultimately, Mr. Tan did expand his business by selling franchise and advertising through the internet as well as the social media, such as Facebook and Instagram. Today, Teochew Chendol can be found in places in common places like Sunway Pyramid and Paradigm Mall.
So for both business, they actually have the similarities. As you know that they were chendol stalls, right? So they both, their signature dish is chendol, but they have their own way. For example, like Klang, their chendol actually have their very unique taste as their coconut milk is very thick, and then their palm sugar is very tasty and the aroma is very nice. So and also they have the glutinous rice, which the Penang doesn't have. But the Penang, they actually made their own palm sugar by themselves. So it's very unique. And it's like when you eat once and you kind of like crave for that and obsessed with that food. So for the workers, they actually hire the locals instead of the foreigners, because if you kind of like hire like Bangladesh or maybe Filipinos or maybe the Indonesians, you have to train them, right? Unlike the locals, they know our culture, they know what chendol is, so they have kind of like an idea of how to do it. So they also involved with the owners. The Klang is actually just the father, but his son is currently still studying, so he only comes once in a while to help out his father. But the Penang one, both father and son, they actually work together. The morning will be son who is the one who in charge, and the afternoon will be father. And advertising, both actually involved in broadcast media. For example, for the Klang, they actually involved in Astro and TVB, one of the Chinese channel. And then Penang actually involves in Taiwanese and UK program. For the environment, both are actually open space. For the Klang, it's actually at the street side. They have kind of like big trees and kind of have shades and provide more shades and cooling environment. But for the Penang, they actually located at the back valley. There's a very big building there covering the sunlight, providing more cooling environment. And both environment actually doesn't really involve much of the competitors, but for the Klang, they actually have like around two or more competitors at the same row. For the Penang, they only have one at the opposite of them, and another one at the end of the corner is kind of like quite far. So the rest I'll pass to Evelyn.
Firstly, what are the differences between these two businesses? Okay, for Chendol and Rojak Bukit Tinggi, the history is actually this guy, the Indian old man. He actually had a history that opened up this store for 10.5 years,
And then this is a family business. He doesn't get it or get it from his father or somehow. He is founder himself. And then for the history for Teochew Chendol, which is Tan Chong Kim, as I just now, Tang Tek Huang is the first founder in 1936, and then he passed down to the second generation, which is Tan Chong Kim in 1977, and then now soon or later, he will pass down this Teochew Chendol, this business task to his son, which is he doesn't want to expose his name. That means currently, which is almost 3 generations, this Teochew Chendol have been. Okay. Secondly, will be locations, the differences between these two businesses. The first one is Jalan Batu Nilam, which is located in Bandar Bukit Tinggi. When you go through the Aeon and the Bukit Tinggi, then you will see the truck over there. And then for the location of Teochew Chendol, as I said just now, which is also near of Continental Hotel, you go out, turn left, then you see, which is just 10 minutes walking distance. Okay, then nextly, which is business operation. Business operation for Bandar Bukit Tinggi Chendol, which is Tuesday to Sunday, 11 a.m. to 6. And then they are off on Monday. Okay, then for business hour for Teochew, which is 10:30 to 7. And then for Saturday and Sunday is 10 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. They actually extended 30 minutes later because there is a weekend and then they expect much more customers to come. Next slide, please. Okay, then the targeted market for Klang is actually basically local, which is just residents around there, maybe some officers or workers in Aeon Big. And then the next one, the targeted market for Teochew Chendol, the first one is tourists. Because Penang is one of the biggest attraction in Malaysia, which is so his mostly targeted market is tourists. So that day we actually went there and tried Chendol, and that is his targeted market as well. And then for combating competitions, for your Chendol in Klang, he's actually have a time for hot and sunny day compared to his competitors around that, because his competitors just have a motorcycle with a shaving machine over there. But then he didn't provide any tent or tables and chairs for the customers. And then the takeaway is very fast and reliable and it's efficiency. Because he prepared all the ingredients like jagung, green jellies, and the red beans in the plastic bag. Whenever the customer requests, you just put the shaved ice in there so they can pack and go. Okay, and then for the combating competition which is also he makes sure all of his workers is very friendly, and then he does not welcome any salesman or donating collectors. Okay, nextly would be combating competition for Teochew as well. Just now, Wei-Ting had said before, the owner doesn't increase the price of the Chendol, although after GST is launched on the 1st April 2015, because government requests for whenever any business has a 500,000 after normal, so they must pay an increase to 6% GST. But then the owner actually absorbed the GST himself, so that he keep the prices low, and that is the main reason that he can compete with competitors is very good. And then he provide much more variety products such as Asam Laksa, but then in Klang they actually provide Rajak meat. And then he expand his business by selling franchise. And then the early franchise, I think, is selling pyramid for Teochew Chendol. But then in Klang he only had 1 branches. Okay, then nextly he also did advertisement through the internet. Okay, then nextly will be the differences in stores layout and atmosphere. For Klang, it's just a roadside store, it's a mobility. He put all his shape machine and all his ingredients on the truck, so he can move anywhere. But then he didn't move while he's selling, of course. So he just stayed there. But then when he out of the spot, then he will take everything, he will not leave anything. But then the differences between Teochew Chendol, they actually set up a booth over there, which is very near with their shop lot. And then nextly would be type of food. Okay, recommendation.
So for recommendation, I would like to say about the Penang. So Penang, you realize that what have Evan said that because they don't provide any seats, like chairs or even tables, so customers has to buy and we have to enjoy their food while standing in the hot sun, and they don't even have a shade at all. So I would like to recommend that they can have maybe more chairs and more tables and maybe some umbrellas or something that may provide them next is organization structure. So with the organization structure, you can actually manage the employees more efficiently. So with the presence of the organizing structure, you can actually dedicate the tasks to your employees according to their individual set of skills. So with this, you can actually have a greater productivity. And then next is actually franchise. You realize that in Penang, they only have franchise in the local, but why not you just explore it to the overseas? Why not just tell everyone about the beauty and tasty of your traditional dessert, right? So I would like to encourage them to explore it and tell the whole world about our beautiful chendol, the delicious chendol. And I'll pass on to William.
Yeah, the chendol store in Klang is not very well known to other people. It's only familiar by the locals, and the way to improve it is promote its chendol and have more employees helping with serving the ice or mixing the ingredients. Because after I observed the situation over there, his workers taking down orders and cleaning up dirty plates, which preparing the chendol is done by the owner alone, which is making the process slow. And if you have a slow process, your economic is actually running slow. So I would recommend them to they need a trustable worker who can help with the preparing the chendol and also collect money from the customers, so we could take more orders at a time. For both stores, they need to have an electronic device, maybe an iPad or a touchscreen device to help take down all the orders instantaneously and simultaneously. It's much more efficient and to avoid order mistake occur, to provide an efficient and fast service. Next, I'll pass to Jason.
So for the conclusion, through this assignment, we have went through various researches and thoughts which allow us to make certain comparisons to light the similarities and contrasts of both chendol stalls. Although the Teochew Chendol and Chendol Rojak Banda Bukit Tinggi stall both sells chendol, they have fundamental difference which leads to a different level of success. Through our analysis and interview, we have concluded that the more successful chendol business is Teochew Chendol. The reason we have come to such an insightful conclusion is because Teochew Chendol actually sells its franchise to others, which means that the other may sell chendol under the name of Teochew Chendol. What actually happens is Teochew Chendol can sell up to 1,000 bowl of chendol per day. The strategic location of the store is actually one of the factors that affects our conclusion. The location of the Teochew Chendol is popular compared to the location Chendol Rojak and Banda Bukit Tinggi. In fact, Penang Famous Road is also a tourist attraction, which will also brings most tourists to it. Although there are many factors involved in concluding which shop is more successful, we have ruled out the minor factors and considered the major factors in our analysis. Therefore, those are the reasons that we have come to deduction that Teochew Chendol is more successful than Chendol and Rojak and Banda Bukit
And lastly, if you want to try chendol, you can go to Banda Bukit Tinggi to try it.